Welcome to Politics NY with Skye, Schneps Media's 3 questions in 3 minutes. Here we go. I'm with Ray McGuire. He is running to be the next mayor of New York City. And we are taking a moment to get to know all the mayoral candidates. This interview is one in a series of Schneps Media's Politics NY candidate interviews sponsored by AARP of New York. New Yorkers 50 plus are the city's most reliable voters, accounting for 3 out of 4 ballots cast in the last open mayoral primary. AARP urges all of the New York City mayoral candidates to remember that 50 plus voters count and to focus on the issues most important to this critical voting bloc. And before we dive into our questions, let's get to know Ray McGuire for just a moment. Ray, give us your elevator pitch of who you are and why people should vote for you for mayor.
Skye, thank you. I am Ray McGuire. I've been in New York City for 4 decades. I come from Dayton, Ohio, raised by my single mother who sacrificed for me to leave my hometown at 16 and come to the East Coast to compete against the big girls and boys on the East Coast. I was fortunate, based on her sacrifices, to go to Harvard College and law school and business school. I came to New York City with 3 things. I came with a great education, a lot of debt, and no money. And the city's been great to me personally and professionally. And at a moment in time when the city is facing the crisis of COVID, crisis of the economy, crisis of safety, and crisis of education, I have the skill set. I have the experience to be able to bring this city together and to move it forward. I love the city, which is why I decided to leave my day job and move forward to lead the city so that our best days are ahead of us and not behind us.
And Ray, you have some cool friends. I saw something where you did an event with Diddy and Jay-Z. How did you get to be friends with those cool guys?
You know, we all come from the neighborhood. And so along that journey, you meet people. We have different paths of success. But, you know, we started off the same neighborhood, different zip code, but same neighborhood. And each of us comes at this with a level of transparency that's necessary. I'm an outsider to the world of politics, which is necessary going forward. And they had essentially been outsiders until they performed their way into. And so now they are cultural icons. And I think I've been able to achieve similar kinds of successes in the world of finance.
It's nice to draw a parallel the way you did, just like that. You must be a smart guy, Ray McGuire. So let's talk about housing for a minute. According to these AARP surveys, most New York City residents don't believe they'll be able to afford to live here and retire here. So what would you do as mayor to address that?
So in my plan, you can see at rayformayor.com, where I outline a housing plan that is specifically designed to make certain that the elders on whose shoulders we stand can live with dignity and age with grace and dignity in their own homes. I have a plan that outlines building deeply affordable housing, 10% more units than what we currently have, and a specific focus, $500 million or so, focus on building units for the elders so that they have all the services that are necessary so they can do that which they love to do, which is live their lives comfortably and with dignity. With the services, it also includes having a New York City tutor corps so they can interact from a digital to an analog world. So we thought about the elderly, the elders and the seniors in my plans.
Yeah, in addition to housing, they're also concerned about crime, and everyone's really concerned about public safety and crime. So do you have a plan for that?
I do indeed. Crime, getting the guns off the street. And importantly, crime. So I'll directly deal with that. We have a covenant between New Yorkers and the leadership of New York to make the streets safe. So I'll get the guns off the street. I will deal also with the mentally ill. And the mentally ill, as you know, and especially in our subways, have been those who have been a threat to themselves and a threat to other New Yorkers. And my plan addresses just that. Investing in making sure we have Kendra's law with the assisted outpatient treatment. We put 1.3 million today against that. I'm going to increase that to at least 5 million. I'm going to have the mental health care experts in the subways, in the precincts with our police, and I'm going to have an emergency social services bureau core team inside the NYPD that helps us go and address the issue of mental illness.
Where does the budget come for that?
So for the mental illness, just think we have a budget today of $240 million. We put 1.3 million against the assisted outpatient treatment. I'm going to increase that. So we already have it in the budget. Given that I've managed budgets larger than most state budgets, I understand how to manage a budget. Given the high priority that this should be, I'll be able to come up with the dollars to be able to afford this. So affording it is not the issue that we have today. on this particular matter. On the larger budget it is. And so our seniors need to make sure that the person who's in a leadership role understands the budget. And I can tell you, most of them don't. So we need somebody who's got the experience of managing budgets, who can make sure that the seniors are provided for, that they're cared for, and they're included in the budget, which is my budget, which is what my budget would do, specifically designed to make sure that the elders are taken care of.
All right, cool. Now, Ray, politics and government and serious stuff aside, what would you say is your superpower?
My superpower, it's not a superpower, just who I am. I would say empathy and integrity.
Okay.
Especially now. We need that now, right?
We need that.
And, I would say my superpower is a vision of how the world is evolving and how New York ought to evolve and how it's inclusive. So it's an inclusive vision, which be my superpower.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time. Ray McGuire, running for mayor. Thanks for being part of Schneps Media's 3 Questions in 3 Minutes on Politics NY with Skye, sponsored by AARP of New York.